What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, back out with another video, and today we're doing my September 2025 monthly check. For those who are new to the channel or new to my monthly checks in general, it is where we rank every single new release film that I saw last month from the worst to best, including films I've never seen before over there in my collection, and we will rank them all from the worst to the best. Then, after that, we go into my overhaul, which is the new stuff I got this month. And then, following that as well, we show the pictures that I drew that are on the ceiling. Which, unfortunately, again, I do not have any pictures this month. I tried to get a picture out of the way, but then schoolwork got in the way, so I apologize. I'll try to do it this month since it is October after all. And, anyways, but before we get into the actual beginning of the monthly check itself, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, also may be help with the YouTube algorithm, and I recommend the video to more people, and maybe they could join. And do feel free to comment your monthly checks down below. With that being said, guys, let's go into and ladies and gentlemen, I saw a total of 34 movies last month, which that's insane of itself, and I believe 17 or 18 of them are new releases that came out last month, and then all the rest are movies everyone else has seen. Alright, so let's just kick this thing off, and I'll try to go quickly past the majority of every single one, because this is gonna be a long video otherwise. Alright, number 34, The Strangers, Chapter 2. Easily the worst new release I saw this month, and probably it might end up being in my bottom 10 of the year. Sorry, I'm trying to stop this paper from going up. But everything about this movie didn't work. I do think it was slightly better than Chapter 1 just because there were some entertainingly bad moments in this. And Madeline Petsch did good. She was easily one of the best parts of the first chapter, I thought. And I think she's easily one of the best parts of this chapter too. But the thing is, everything else in this movie. It has a random chase sequence in the middle of the film where Madeline Petsch's character is getting chased by something or someone, where it was laughably bad, where you couldn't believe what you were seeing in a Strangers movie, and yeah, I just have little to no interest in the third film, even though I already had little to no interest in this film. So easily last place. Number 33 out of the Curse of La Llorona. Also bad, where honestly, even though Strangers Chapter 2 objectively is probably a worse film, I would still probably rewatch that one compared to Curse of La Llorona, because Curse of La Llorona just bored me. I think on a technical level it is a better made movie than Strangers Chapter 2. I think there's some decent performances in here, especially by Linda Cardellini. However, it's just the most generic movie in the whole entire Conjuring universe, where I was just going, okay, it's the same formula over and over again, and La Llorona is very infamous in Mexican culture, so you can't mess this up. And they messed it up where La Llorona felt generic compared to everyone else, which, yeah. Number 33, Curse of La Llorona. Which is a worse movie? Strangers Chapter 2. Which one would I rather rewatch? Strangers Chapter 2, because it's more entertainingly bad. 32, I have the first Annabelle. Now, originally, these next two are pretty much tied, really. But 32, I ended up going with Annabelle. The one I have above it originally was below it in my Conjuring ranking I did a little while ago, but I guess my opinion changed. It happens a lot. But Annabelle is just a generic possessed doll movie, which is a shame because Annabelle was easily one of the most standout parts of that original Conjuring film. So having Annabelle's own film be generic, yeah, that's sad. But we'll talk about the sequels later. Those are much better. Again, pretty much tied with Annabelle for how I feel on them. 31 is The Nun. The only reason why I decided to switch my ranking is just because I think there's more memorable scenes in The Nun. Like, I think the whole entire buried alive sequence that you have with the priest in this movie is actually pretty memorable and actually one of the better parts of the film. And I think the opening scene of the film as well is pretty decent. Everything else, it's just like a roller coaster ride. You're riding, jump scare. You're riding, jump scare. You're riding, it's over. Jump scare. And then it ends. Yeah, 31, The Nun. 30, The Nun 2, which I do think this one is a little better than The Nun 1. Just because I think the characters overall as a whole were better compared to the characters in the first film, where they have a little more development in here, and I think the final act as a whole was much better. But still, not really a movie I can say I like. So it comes in here at number 30. Number 29, I have She Said Maybe. So this is a straight-to-Netflix foreign romance movie. And it's, I really don't know what to say here, because it's just forgettable. It's watchable, but you won't remember anything about it, where I'm certain for my ranking of all the movies I saw this year from worst to best for the new releases, I'm sure I'll probably forget everything about this film. So, number 29, She Said Maybe. Okay, and now from here on up, I'll just like to say I like these movies now. Number 28 is Poor Girl, Liam Pritchard's newest film, short film on YouTube, that is. Be sure to check him out. I still prefer Memory overall as a whole, but this was still decent enough for what it was. I enjoyed the second half much more than the first half, where the first half was kind of building the tension, where the second half you get the tension with all the sci-fi parts about it. So, number 28, Poor Girl. Number 27, Downton Abbey, the grand finale. I had to correct myself on that one because my dad said that's the proper pronunciation, so there you go. Never watched the show, and seems like something I wouldn't necessarily connect with, and going into this one, I was going, I don't really want to see it, but I'm trying to watch as many movies as I can, so why not? And it was a little better than I was expecting it to be. Still not quite my thing. I'm not really into that specific era that they're trying to explore here, but they do a great job at encapsulating that time period. The performances are decent. And as a whole, if you watch the show, I do think it wraps up things quite well in a nice little bow. 26, Dead of Winter, the new thriller movie with Emma Thompson, which Emma Thompson does good. And I do like the winter aesthetic. However, I've just seen better movies. So, moving on. Number 25, Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Which, ironically, I watched Part 1 after watching Part 2. I know, that's weird. But Part 1, I did think was better than Part 2. Where I think the dots sort of connect a little bit more on this one. And since it is the first chapter in a story, it definitely did help things, where this one actually had a pretty decent character arc where the Flash is essentially the main character. And I did overall enjoy his character journey throughout this whole entire film, which I think they did a great job on. Still, I'm 50-50 about the animation for this new universe, so I was not too big on that. And how they end, they do end things quite nicely for a part 1, where it doesn't feel like, oh man, why'd you have to end it off cliffhanger? But they end it in a nice way where, oh, okay, that feels like where it needed to end. 24, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Easily the weakest out of the 4 Conjuring movies, but I went in a little more skeptical than others, so I actually was a little surprised by this one, because I still did overall like the movie. I still think the Warrens are great characters in their own right. I think there's some pretty decent enough scares, even though it's still the weakest out of all 4 of the Conjuring movies. And I do think there's some very interesting concepts in here, with the whole entire, somebody's actually bringing the ghosts to people's houses and possessing them and stuff. So I thought that was an interesting plot line as well. Gonna take a drink of water here. 23, Wrong Paris. So this is the newest romance movie with Miranda Cosgrove and a bunch of other people too. And this one was just entertaining. Is it the best? Is it the worst? No, it's neither of those. But it's entertaining for what it is. I did think Miranda Cosgrove had a good performance in it. Number 22, I have Zeno. Originally, I went into this one a little skeptical too, just because I've seen this movie before so many times. Or let me name them off. E.T., Iron Giant, Bumblebee, and probably a bunch of others, but I can't think of them right now. But this plot has been done over and over and over again. So I was going like, okay. And for the first half of the movie, I was pretty much feeling that exact same way. But later on in the movie, there's a change where you have the villain do something to our main girl character in here that made me bump it up half a star, where I was going, okay, just because they made me have a guttural reaction to hate the villain, it went up a half star. That's the only reason. And I do, for a larger budget movie too, I think the CGI is actually quite solid, but the lower budget certainly does show in the practical effects, because with the actual creature that you have in here, they do mostly go practical, and it does look very cheap looking. But when they go CGI, I thought they actually did a pretty decent job with it. So, number 22, Zeno. Also didn't have much of the, most of the characters in the movie weren't that likable. Except for maybe the main character, but that's it. Now, from here on up, I'll just like to say these movies I did think were good. And number 21 is probably going to be a shock for most people, because I hear a whole lot of people surprisingly like not liking this movie a whole lot and thinking it's actually not good. And number 21, A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. I still thought this was decent for what it was, you know. The chemistry between Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell was good. There's some very genuinely emotional moments where it made my mom, like, I don't think I've seen her cry to a movie in forever. So I was going, okay, so it is affecting people in the theater for sure. And the concept itself is interesting. I'm still with a bunch of people, though, that says, yeah, these people don't talk like regular human beings. So number 21, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. I don't understand the hate for that one. Number 20, I have London Calling. So this is the newest buddy road trip movie with Josh Duhamel, where he's taken, I apologize, I forgot the actor's name, but he's the kid from It, and he's also from Goosebumps too, where he takes him on a road trip to essentially make him become a man, because the dad of the kid put him there and paid him extra to do this. So, Josh Duhamel and the main actor, the main road trip buddy actor, both had really good chemistry with one another, and there's some genuinely fun moments. It's overall just a fun time. I enjoyed myself. Number 19, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. Another one that's, I never watched the first film, but this one was still fun. I was able to follow the plot line pretty decently. And overall it was just fun seeing a bunch of celebrity cameos, musicians and stuff in here. So yeah, I enjoyed it. 18, I have Family Plot. So last month I saw a total of like 5 brand new Hitchcock movies. I've of course seen Rear Window, Psycho, North by Northwest, The Birds, and what's that other one in there? Birds, Psycho, Rear Window, Vertigo. Sorry, I don't know why I forgot that one. So I was watching his other films because I got a 4K collection the month for my birthday. So I was going, okay, let's watch them. And this one was probably my least favorite. It's still a good film, and I think this is actually Hitchcock's last movie he did. But I still think the ones I enjoyed are the ones above it I enjoyed better. Number 17, I have Unsung Heroes. So this was actually a movie I missed out on the year it came out, which was last year, actually, I think. And I wasn't familiar with the true life story, and it was actually better than I was expecting it to be. The family dynamic was very strong, and there were some good performances where it was actually decent for what it was. So, number 17, Unsung Hero. Number 16, I have Annabelle Creation. Now, people say the one that I have above it is better than this one, but I don't know. The thing that kind of held this one back is just I think the characters weren't as great as the one I have above it, so I'll put it at number 15. But still, I thought it was a massive improvement upon the first Annabelle, and there were some good performances in this, and there were some pretty decent kills, and I liked the backstory it had with Annabelle. And even though I don't like the first Annabelle, this actually leads right into that movie perfectly. So yeah. 15, I actually have Annabelle Comes Home, though, the reason why I put this above the other one is just because this one involves the Warrens, sort of, along with their daughter in here, actually played by McKenna Grace, so that was kind of cool, seeing her in one of her younger roles, so she does really good, too. 14, The Conjuring Last Rites, which people tend to be 50-50 on it, but it's killing it at the box office right now. And as an ending, a close to the Warrens' arc as characters in this universe, I thought they ended things actually quite well, especially with the ending of the movie. I'm not going to talk about that because that's spoilers, but they do end things in a very nice way where, okay, yeah, that was a good way to end things. This still had the weakest scares, I will admit, but this one did focus on the Warrens for the majority of the runtime, which I actually was happy about them doing. So, because this was their last movie, so, and good performances all around too. 13, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. So I've only watched a tiny bit of Demon Slayer here and there. I'm not necessarily a person that watches this show frequently. The funny story with this is actually I was flipping through channels on cable one time. I saw on Cartoon Network they had My Hero Academia on, and I was going, oh yeah, My Hero Academia is on, because I'm a big My Hero Academia fan. So I was going, okay, let me watch this. And then it was actually Demon Slayer Bujin Train. I don't know how you pronounce it. Something Train. Anyways, but it was that instead. So I was going, okay, let me see what this is, because I'm curious what it is. And yeah, it was that. So, and I watched a few episodes here and there. And again, sort of the same thing with Downton Abbey. I watched this without not much knowledge of the show, so to see how it played out, and yes, it did play out quite well. I still think it is a little too long. That's the major complaint I had, especially where in the movie theater, I rarely ever get tired where I feel like, oh, I'm about to fall asleep, and like I feel myself starting to go or close my eyes unintentionally. That happened in this movie just because how long the film was. But there's some great characters, especially with the closing arc of our villain in this movie. I thought they ended things quite well. And there's some very great visuals with the animation, especially this big building that, like, rotates and stuff. I don't know how to explain it. If you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It was really cool. So, 13, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. Number 12, The Trouble with Harry, which ironically is actually a comedy, which is rare for me to say from Hitchcock, because Hitchcock mostly does thrillers. So this was an interesting change of pace, and yeah, it was entertaining, and it did have a fair share of very good laughs in this movie. However, I do think they recycled the same bit a couple times too many, where I was going, it was funny the first few times, but now you're just doing it over and over and over again. 11, Marnie. This actually has Sean Connery, I believe, where when I was watching it originally, I was thinking it's slow, but once it gets to the latter part of the movie, I think it actually pays off in a big way, with some good performances too. So 11, Marnie. Number 10, Eleanor the Great. I actually posted a full-length review for this one, so if you'd like to check that one, if you'd like to check my review out, it came out recently, so be sure to check that out. But this is actually Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut, which I was actually surprised by to find out. And the plot you have in here is you have our main character, Eleanor. who her friend who survived the Holocaust passes away. She ends up moving to the city, New York, with her daughter and grandson. What ends up happening is she ends up mistakenly getting put into a Holocaust survivor group, where she ends up telling the stories of her friend, even though they're not hers. And a madness ensues. And it was overall just a feel-good type movie, especially with all the connections Eleanor makes throughout the whole entire movie. So yeah, number 10, Eleanor the Great. And I would definitely recommend you see it. Number 9, The Senior. So this is the Angel Studios' newest film with Michael Chiklis, and this is actually my favorite project of theirs that I've seen from them, which is surprising for me to say, because most of their films are usually the same exact thing over and over again, but this was something right up my alley, where I do enjoy a good sports movie. I'm not really a big sports guy. I do, well, most people don't consider it a sport, but wrestling I do like, and I do watch football from time to time. So I watched this, and actually it was my favorite project of theirs. So yeah. Okay, from here on up, I would just like to say these movies are great. Number 8, Saboteur. And the funny story with this, I couldn't read the title of this movie for some reason, because it was in cursive. So I was going like, what does this say? Like, I was going like, what is this? And I forgot what I mistakenly called it. Salo Town. That's why I called it, because it was in cursive, so I couldn't read it. So, and then I had to look up, okay, Alfred Hitchcock's films, and then it's Saboteur. That's what it was. So, that was a funny little story there. And this is before the movies like The Fugitive were a thing. So, I think this probably influenced that. So, I thought it was fairly entertaining, especially for a movie back in the old days. So, yeah. 7, I have Sweet Boy, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film. And I didn't really know this thing was out until I was scrolling on YouTube, and I was trying to see maybe if there's some short films to watch, and sure enough, this popped up. I was going, let me check this out, and I saw it came out last month, so I said, okay, let me check this out. And it was a really well done short film, where probably I would say this is actually my second favorite short film I've watched this year. I still think I give the edge slightly to Joker's Wild, because the only flaw really I had with this movie is just that I think even though the lighting is very reminiscent of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, I still think they could have turned it down a little bit, where it didn't feel that necessary. But still, there's some pretty good performances, and the Leatherface you get in here is quite convincing, where if I watch this again, I would probably watch this right after watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 remake, which I love. Number 6, I have Shadow of a Doubt, which is also another Hitchcock movie, where I'm not going to say much because I don't want to spoil anything, but this character's uncle comes back home and is staying there a couple of days, and something's up with him. That's all I'll say. And it definitely was an intriguing mystery, where it was slowly building up the tension and everything, so it did a great job at that. Top 5, people. Number 5, The Conjuring 2. Really close in quality compared to the first one, which you'll see higher on this list. But The Conjuring 2 was a great sequel as well. I do think, however, it's still a little too long, maybe. But other than that, the entities in this movie, I think, are easily the best out of the Conjuring franchise. With the Nun, you also got the Crooked Man, which surprisingly he hasn't got his own movie yet, which is odd to me, because he was easily one of the standout parts of this film. There's some very great jump scares as expected, and there's some very heartfelt moments throughout this one too, where I felt was kind of missing from the first Conjuring film, which the first Conjuring film does have heartfelt moments for sure, but this one, you really get a development with the family and the Warrens, so I did enjoy that too. Number 4, One Battle After Another. Ooh, man, this one's a hot debate, huh? And yes, this film was great. Originally I was going in, am I gonna enjoy this? I don't know. And yes, I did enjoy it. Surprised, I was not excited about that. The runtime for the movie, the runtime's like 2 hours and 40 something, where I was going, oh no, not another one of these movies that's super overbearingly long. But to its credit, it actually kept my attention throughout the whole entire movie, where I was going, okay, that actually didn't bug me. I'm kind of glad that it was at that length. There's some great performances in this with Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. I mean, he's always great in every single movie he's in. Like, he's genuinely one of the greatest actors of all time in my mind. Sean Penn, also great in here as the main antagonist role, which he does a lot of weird things in this movie that I thought were funny, so it was cool seeing him in this. And yeah, overall, it was a great film. Number 3, Escape from New York, the John Carpenter film with Kurt Russell. First time watch, never had seen it before. All these movies on here are first time watches. And yes, this one was great too. I thought Snake Plissken as a character was awesome. I think the futuristic world that they create in this, I thought was really cool too. Yeah, and overall it was just a fun movie to watch, so I did like it. And I was about to say maybe it's my favorite Carpenter movie, but no, it's not. I'd probably say my favorite Carpenter movie is The Thing, then it would be this, then The Fog, I think, and then Halloween. So yeah. Number 2, for my favorite new release movie I saw last month, I have The Long Walk. The Long Walk was a movie I was super excited for. Seemed like a movie that was right up my alley. Hunger Games, but you have this long walk. And it's based off a Stephen King short story, so that opened my eyes a little bit more, because most Stephen King book to movie adaptations have been good. There's some exceptions here and there where there's bad movies for sure, but The Long Walk, I think, generally is one of the greatest Stephen King live action movies, because this definitely had it had everything. It had great characters, had very emotional moments. The music in here is great. And having a concept of this long walk where you have every man facing each other on this long walk and the last man standing wins, you would think it would get boring, but actually it doesn't, because the dialogue that's exchanged between these characters is actually really great, where you get development with their dynamics and everything. So, number 2, The Long Walk. But number 1, The Conjuring. The whole entire Conjuring franchise were first-time watches last month, and the first one is still the best out of that whole entire universe. And I don't see any movie topping it. It came out at the right time when most horror fans were just starving for something else to be great. And this one was. James Wan does a phenomenal job at directing. The characters are all great. There's some genuinely amazing jump scares. I mean, the clap is an all-timer jump scare. I mean, who doesn't get jump scared by that? I mean, even the whole entire thing with the witch on top of the cup, on top of the wardrobe, and jumping down, that's a good jump scare too. Yeah, The Conjuring, need I say more, it's one of the greatest horror movies in recent memory. Okay, that is every movie I saw ranked. Now let's get into the things I got last month. And then, yeah, we'll end things for today, because like I said, I didn't have any pictures. So, alright, first up, let's start off with the non-physical media stuff first. So I got this, Star Wars little shirt here that my mom said, hey, we should get that. And I said, okay, that's cool. So I got that. As you guys know, I went to Universal Halloween Horror Nights, and I have a vlog on the channel if you're curious. And I got this lanyard with my park ticket there. So, yep, went there. And, is that everything right there? Yes. Wait, no. Actually, not yet. Because we still have this, which that and the, Star Wars shirt, I got at AMC. So, because they were, like, making their stuff cheaper where you can buy them. And this was one of them right here, which I thought was really, really cool. I don't even know what it is, what you do with it, really, but it's a Friday the 13th Part 3 3D Deep. I think it's generally cool, so there's that. Then you also have, I saw this book at a Sam's Club, and I was going, can I get that? Because I think that would be really cool. And I'm a nut for Nightmare Before Christmas. So I love that. And I got this manga, Zero's Journey manga, right here. I'm not too familiar with reading manga, but it's cool. You got pictures and stuff, so I want to read it for sure. So, definitely got that. I haven't read it yet, but I do plan on reading that soon. And now let's get into the physical media. Let's start off with the physical media I don't own yet, but they're in the family cabinet. So, you got This is Spinal Tap, which I might get next month. So yeah, I haven't seen the first film, but I've seen the second one, so I'm gonna be sure to check that one out soon. The They Live 4K. Why is this upside down? Of course, this was very infamous for having Roddy Piper in there as a big wrestling fan myself. So I'm going to be sure to check that out this month when I get the 4K steelbook of it. So, and also another John Carpenter movie too. So to add to the collection. So that's cool. Then we got some movies that I got from the family cabinet. You got this wheel of the Fast and Furious movies, up to 7, 1 to 7 in here. The Expendables 2, haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it. Divergent, where they kind of they saw the success of Hunger Games and they're going, let's try to do that in movie form and see if we can top that, which they fell flat on that. Fell flat on their face with those movies, didn't they? This one's fine. I mean, it's better than the other two movies, but still not great. Cars Blu-ray. A good Pixar movie. Was never too big on Cars, but I do think this is the best out of the three, for sure. I don't even know why I brought this in my room. Justice League. I was just going, I don't have Justice League in my room. Let me get that. So, I got that. Great. Alright. Now, some Blu-rays that I actually bought with my own money. We have the Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery Original Blu-ray. Haven't seen it, so can't comment on it. But, yes, it completes my WWE Blu-rays. WrestleMania 27 Blu-ray. As I was speaking WWE Blu-rays, here we go. Yeah, I know this is regarded as the one of, if not the worst WrestleManias of all time. And from what I've heard, yes, that definitely warrants that title. I know that Undertaker versus Triple H on here for the streak, I think I've heard is a fantastic match. I also heard Rey Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton versus CM Punk is solid. However, everything else on the card isn't that great. Especially, I hear Jerry the King Lawler versus Michael Cole is one of the worst wrestling matches ever. So, not really excited to watch that one, but we'll see. Right. Okay, we got a Teen Titans Complete Blu-ray Series Blu-ray. Complete Blu-ray Series Blu-ray. Did I just say that? And yes, this actually comes with Teen Titans Go, Trouble in Tokyo, movie as well. So I thought that was really cool. I've watched episodes of this here and there, but now I have the full series where I can watch all of it, of the original series. I still enjoy Teen Titans Go, though, which I know is very unpopular, but I do enjoy that show. Got a couple Blu-rays as well. We got The Jerk on Blu-ray. Haven't seen it, but there's a DVD in my dad's collection, so I was going, oh, let me get a Blu-ray for myself, so got that. The Friend, this was actually a movie I wanted to see this year, but didn't get around to seeing, where you have, the basic premise I believe you have in here is Bill Murray passes away. And Naomi Watts is his friend, and she takes care of the dog that was his when he passed away. So that's essentially the plot synopsis, I think. So I should watch that before the end of the year. So, the Arthur the King Blu-ray. This was actually a really underrated movie all last year. I thought this was actually quite solid. Is it great? No, but I still thought it was a really good dog movie. So, and Mark Wahlberg delivers great performance in that. The Beekeeper 4K, also another movie from last year that I was going, let's own it in the collection. And ironically, they announced Beekeeper 2 the other day, so that's kind of ironic. Oh, wait. I was going yeah. Oh, thank goodness I remembered. There's another 4K Steelbook here. I was going, what's going to be my pick of the month? And then I was going like, oh, there's another one here. All right. I got a couple 4K Steelbooks. All right. So, first one we have here, Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 4K Steelbook. I know you can't see it really. The camera quality is a little weird. But yeah, as I said before, I liked this better than Part 2, but still not anything great for sure. The Escape from New York 4K Steelbook, which I already talked about this movie. This was actually pretty decently priced, like $27, which is pretty decent for a Steelbook, so I said, okay, let me buy it. What was really decently priced was this. This was actually at $20, which is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 4K Steelbook, which I actually saw this for my birthday the year it came out, and I posted a review, did a spoiler review, and also did a ranking, and I actually saw it with a bunch of my friends. So yeah, this is a really... Originally, I thought it was really good when I saw it the first time, but now I generally think it's great, and I'm excited for the sequel when they do that. These two are pretty much tied for my favorite piece of physical media I got last month, but I'm going to go with this one next, which I'll say is my second favorite, and that is the Superman 4K Steelbook with the slipcover, everything. And this is currently tied with Sinners for my favorite movie of the year. And I'm actually rewatching Sinners tonight to see, which one's going to be my favorite at the end of the year. So, yeah, recently rewatched this, still think it's great. And honestly, might become one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. It's currently... Originally, I thought it was better than Man of Steel when I watched it the third time, but they're still neck and neck. I have to watch Man of Steel to decide. But my pick of the month that I got for physical media-wise is the Jurassic Park 3-film 4K Steelbook, which, if you watched my last monthly check, I got the Jurassic World 3-pack 4K Steelbook. And I was going, okay, I gotta get the other one too to add to that as well. And for those who do not know, I've said it a million times on this channel, but Jurassic Park 1 is my favorite movie of all time. Love that film. 2, I think, is easily the one, is tied with Fallen Kingdom for the weakest of the franchise. That one bores me. I'd much rather rewatch Fallen Kingdom compared to that, even though Fallen Kingdom I do think is objectively a worse movie. And then 3, I never understood why everybody hated, because I still think the Spinosaurus is really terrifying in the movie. So, yeah, I love this 4K Steelbook here. So, yeah, pretty decent month for physical media. And this month, we should have a heck load of physical media stuff as well, because we will be getting all spooky season stuff, so that's cool. But ladies and gentlemen, that is yet another monthly check done. I will try to get a picture out for the next monthly check for sure. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace out.